Hi guys, I'm off the tripod again, so you know what that means. We are doing another vlog, and this is a very special vlog because this is the vlog where I'm going to be wrapping up editing for my YA contemporary manuscript, finally getting it to where I'm going to start querying it. I've just kind of been sitting here procrastinating because it's like, it feels like a really big moment because I'm starting a final read through, like a final read through to fine tune some things and stuff like that. And I've just been kind of like hesitant to start, but I gotta start because it's 5 p.m. and I don't want to be doing this all night, and I have 3 chapters that I want to get through. Okay, so it's been a couple of days, but I am through chapter 7, which is exactly where I wanted to be by this point. I just am finding that I still have some like straggling long chapters that I'm having to break up. What I thought was going to be chapter 7 is actually chapter 8. So I'm not actually as far along in the manuscript as I thought I would be. I'm sitting down to work today, hopefully getting through chapters 8 through 11. I just finished chapter 11, but chapter 11 ended up being the second half of what was chapter 10. So I'm seeing a lot of that, but I went through and I looked at all the other chapters and I kind of counted the pages. They vary in length, but I'm just trying to make sure that the pages stay less than 20 pages. Or the chapters stay less than 20 pages, and I think they all do at this point. Hopefully there will be less chapter shuffling, because it's really not what I wanted to be doing. I've just been making sure that the content is consistent with the edits that I went through previously, taking out a lot of like adverbs and other filler words, and trying to catch some grammar mistakes, but I might do like a just quick sweep for grammar after this, because I want to make sure that that's good as well. I was wrong. There has been more chapter shuffling because I have learned that putting like more than one core event in one chapter leads to the chapter kind of being long and confusing. And so even though the chapter that I split up was well under 20 pages, I kind of like split it up into 2 shorter chapters for that reason, because 2 kind of important things happen and I just kind of wanted to separate them. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I'm also learning that there is like constantly like 50 different ways to say the same thing. And sometimes the change is needed because you can say it in like a shorter way, or, with fewer unnecessary words and stuff like that. That's mostly what I'm doing right now, is just taking out unnecessary words because, I did a bunch of edits. I talked about this already, but I did a bunch of edits, and you don't really like have a mind for editing the words you're putting on the page while you're editing. You're just more editing the content. So now I'm editing the words I put on the page and taking out a lot of unnecessary words and still splitting up chapters. I really hope that was the last time. But we'll see. So last week I got halfway through the manuscript in edits. That was pretty cool. I'm feeling really good about my trajectory. I think I'll be able to finish by the end of this week and then have some buffer time to let my husband read the finished manuscript and then start querying in September. The thing is, this is going to be a rough week because I am going to be just going through all of the really deep emotional scenes, like it's getting to the climax and just a bunch of hard stuff. So that's what I'm going to be steeped in this week. And I did an interview with a friend recently about something difficult that they went through that's similar to something that the MC went through. And so I'm going to be re-listening to that recording. And that conversation was fine, but it was like, that's still a lot to process. So there's just going to be a lot of big emotions this week, I think. So you guys get to come on that journey with me. I'm about to get started on chapter 15, I think. I'm pretty sure there was more chapter shuffling since the last time we discussed it, but, that is what it is. I don't know what it is about this afternoon, but I am just, like, not feeling it. The editing thing. But I'm still doing it. That's the important part. I actually got further than I thought I would. There was some chapter shuffling again, but I got further than I planned to, so I'm kind of trying to stay ahead. About maybe a third of the way through what I'd like to get done today, and it's going pretty well, all things considered. I'm kind of tired. I'm not really finding that many glaring mistakes. There are just some things where I'm like, oh, I don't need that. I could shorten that, So I think that shows that the manuscript is in a really good place. Tomorrow, though, is a big day. I am going to be editing probably the three like most intense chapters in the entire book, and that's the day that I'm going to be starting to listen to the recording of my interview with my friend. That may or may not take place over 2 days, but still, that's going to be a lot. So I'm definitely going to be like in a intense state of mind. I am just listening to the angsty music and trying to get through my edits. I'm curious if you guys have any particular philosophies about the word just. Oh, we were just doing this, or I just did this. I am not opposed to the word. I try to make sure that it's only used once per paragraph, I guess. I try not to use it in every paragraph, but in a scenario where like I'm describing actions a lot, I try to make sure it only is used in one sentence. Hi guys. I wanted to get the update in before I started editing because I've already wasted enough time. But I am into the last quarter of the book. I don't remember the exact chapter, but that's exactly where I want to be. And so I'm kind of going to be editing the, lead up to the climax now, which is wild. So I am kind of trying to get in that headspace, listen to more angsty music, and then just, have at it. But that's what I'm doing today. I will update you guys again tomorrow with how that goes. It's 2 days later, but I made it through most of the, really emotional chapters that happen at the end. There's some at the beginning of the last chapter that's kind of intense that I'm going to start editing now. But this is the last chapter, so that means that after today, I'm done, which is kind of a huge feeling. Like, I'm going to be done and ready to query very soon. Like today. The editing that I was really apprehensive about was hard. The afternoon that I finished, I was just really sad and off kilter and stuff, and I've been like that for kind of the past 2 days because it's hard. I re-listened to the recording of the interview with my friend, and that wasn't that hard because it was I remember, sitting down having the conversation with them, and they're fine. They were sitting across the table from me, perfectly healthy and everything. They were just explaining the situation to me. What was hard was taking that experience and then making it happen to someone else on page. That was the really emotionally trying part that I think is different from even just making the scenario up. It's different when you draw on someone else's lived experience. So that was new. Getting into the last chapter now, I think it's about 20 pages because it brings all of the things together. Well, that's it. I mean, that's far from it. When I get picked up, then I'm going to have an editor who's going to want me to make other edits. So the book is still probably going to look very different when it hits the shelves versus how it does now, but I really think it's ready. The end always gets me because it just, I don't even really know how to put it. But on the pre-querying editing of my first YA contemporary manuscript, my first novel, my debut novel, that is a wrap. Now enough of that mushy stuff. If you liked this video and you'd like to see more of this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok for hot takes, sketches, writing advice, other things like that. And for book recommendations and writing updates every month, you can subscribe to my newsletter. The link for that is going to be in my bio. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you on the journey, friends.